Hey traders, I'm James, one of the content team leaders here at A1 Trading, and as we start today's stream, I wanted to let you know about one of our show's main sponsors, FX2 Funding. With all the craziness going on in the prop firm space, we're excited to share some of the solutions FX2 Funding has put together for their traders. First, FX2 is rolling out DXTrade, which is a web-based trading platform that provides traders a smooth trading experience. It also looks super cool too. So for traders looking to get funded, you can get 15% off by using promo code A1Trading15. That's A1Trading15. The link and promo code can also be found in the description. Now, onto the show.
All right, good morning, guys. Welcome back to another live stream. And I gotta say, when there's two different vibes for me when I have to live stream and I have winning trades on, and live stream when I have losing trades on. And here's the thing. We have a scheduled show here. So sometimes I have to get on here and I have to show face, even though my trading is going poorly. And it's not as fun to look at the markets when your trades are going poorly. I mean, anybody who knows, anybody who's been trading for any amount of time knows that, right? Psychologically, it's not as fun to look at the market when you're down as when you are up. And so while it is inevitable that I'll have to come look at the charts when I'm down on trades or having a losing streak, today is not that day. Today we continue to see the things that have been working continue to work. And it's been a theme here recently for financial markets. Winners have continued to win, and losing sides of trades or losing things continue to lose. It's very interesting to see it that way. But that theme, that simple concept, is the theme of momentum, right? So if you've been momentum trading things like the SP500 or the NASDAQ or gold, or in my case, also oil, right? These things continue to win. They continue to play nicely. They continue to work. So right now, this momentum in gold, in stocks, in commodities has surprised me as it has surprised many others, meaning it's gone on longer than I thought it would. But this is why, at the end of the day, as a trend follower, I don't predict the ends of a trend, right? This is why this is a personal preference and style of trading. Not everyone does the same thing as me, and that is perfectly fine. There's not one way, one specific only way to trade profitably. But I don't like to cap my wins. And what I mean by that is I like to trail stops. I don't like to take profits, right? So many traders might have said, well, I'm going to buy here and I'm going to take profits here. And while that oftentimes, by the way, is the superior trading strategy, the trades that I'm ultimately looking for in my trading career are not quick moves from one range to another. The moves that make all of the money on my account, all of the gains, well, on this particular strategy, the gains made in this particular strategy, I have two strategies that I run. I have an options selling strategy and a momentum trading strategy. And from the momentum side of my trading, which is admittedly the more exciting side that everybody wants to see on YouTube, that side of my trading, most of the wins come from a very small minority of positions. So what I mean by that is I don't take trades like this pullback and I just don't take profits here, right? I don't take profits just because we hit resistance. If this market, if I fundamentally believe it has potential to continue driving higher, and it did in this case, if I had taken profits here, I left off 3/4 of the total move that's gone on in gold. Now, obviously, this is a good example, right? This is an easy example. Obviously, Nick, you should just hold on to winners when they're doing this. But most of the time for me, it does not work out this way. Before this recent move, guys, my expected profitability on gold was awful. You guys might have heard, if you're like an everyday streamer, some of you guys might remember, Ivan and I have a conversation about gold and how I've been really struggling like to make profits out of gold recently, because it had gone into this range bound market. But finally, the turn of this year, I mentioned I'm very much looking out for news of rate cuts. If that happens, I've got a snap B in gold. And that is what happened. We started to see the shift. We started to see the figures on the EDGEFINDER pointing bullish. And I switched into the bullish camp on the very same day that the EDGEFINDER did. I marked that day in the red vertical line. This is the date that the EDGEFINDER got bullish gold. I'm not making this up. I'm not, cherry picking. I will literally show you the EDGEFINDER's score indicator. You can look historically at the scoring of the EDGEFINDER and check this out. You cannot make this up. It is picture perfect. And I want to say it's not always this good, but obviously nothing is. Here is the day. I said this yesterday, but I want to repeat it. This is the first day that the EDGEFINDER began printing bullish readings. We call a 5 or greater bullish on the EDGEFINDER. Okay. So we get a 5 score, meaning after looking at all the different indicators that the EDGEFINDER tracks, not technical ones, all of them, some technical, but most fundamental, right? GDP numbers, PMIs started to slip, things like that really swung the score in favor of gold bullishness on February 24th. That is a Saturday. The reason it happened on a Saturday is because COT came in. COT data comes in and it swung the score into a bullish camp. Big money went long gold. And from that day, marked in red, the gold market has had liftoff. And today, this patience is getting rewarded. We've been consolidating here, and I am going to be trailing stops further into profit here on my gold position while we are live streaming. So it's awesome to see this market move. And there's something else I mentioned. If I'm going based on my staying consistent with what I said yesterday, now that we've had the breakout that I'm looking for, this closure above, and now this candle's off to the races, first of all, you might not get a pullback. I just want to say this very clear. I am bullish gold. I would not be surprised if this drives way past the highs, like without a pullback. That being said, is it rational to think there could be a pullback? Yeah, probably. There probably will be a pullback. There'll probably be something. But my opinion here has been and still is, and that's why I bought a second time when I looked at gold, right? I bought here. I bought a second time here. The first and second entry on gold, I was looking for brief, shallow pullbacks to explode off of. And they did, right? So trade, really shallow pullback, jumped, just kept driving. Pulled back, shallow pullback, right? Jumped. Shallow pullback, jump. If we pull back, I would like to see a shallow pullback in order to keep me in this position, okay? So shallow pullback, as long as it doesn't break this level of support, I'll stay long gold. But in the meantime, I do need to go ahead and look to trail this stop. Now Nick doesn't want gold to pull back. Of course I don't want gold to pull back. I'm in a long trade. Yeah, so forex hip. Are you self-promoting? Come on. Search forex hip. I'm live streaming right now. Come on, forex hip. We're gonna have to ban you for that. Don't be a self-promoter. That's lame. At least make like a second account, not your same name, and say, hey, go follow this guy. Now Nick doesn't want gold to pull back. Not surprised. Yeah. So here's the thing, Trayvon. When gold makes its moves, like really makes its moves, if you look back in some of the historical times that gold made monstrous moves, I'm thinking like 2020, I'm thinking like 2011. Like if we go back in history together for just a second, we study our history on gold, when gold really makes its move, it's like one directional. And a lot of traders, when this happens, they get blindsided by these kinds of moves because they're aggressive. They're always so shockingly bullish or shockingly bearish when they move like this. And gold has this unique trait where most of the time it's a dormant and actually pretty boring asset class. It's really boring most of the time. But then every once in a while, when the world gets a little shook up and the world gets a little concerned, you get these moves. Look at 2010, 2011. This is what I'm talking about. where just explosive price action in one direction just persisted for months and months. And look at this. Look at how far that bull run went on. Now, in my personal opinion, the reason I said I would not be surprised if we don't get a pullback is because if we are on the cusp of another metals market bull cycle, which in my opinion, I think we will see. If I'm right about that, and many others who even JP Morgan put a $2,500 target on gold this year. I don't know if you guys saw that. Okay, listen, if gold is really bullish, like it's really going to make a run, shallow pullbacks are all you're going to see, right? In a real bull market, these pullbacks, I guess, these are weekly charts. So you do get some pullbacks, but for the most part, look at these drives higher, right? So do not be surprised. I'm telling you right now, a lot of traders, they love to buy lows and sell highs, and that works when the market is boring and range bound. But the second you get a real bull market for gold, or a real bear market for gold for that matter, be so careful, because so many traders get used to gold trading like this, where it goes back and forth and they can sell highs and buy lows, and it's pretty easy. If we're at the beginning of a bull cycle, and I'm talking about you see something like this start to happen in markets, right? Where you just see a really persistent bull market. First of all, it should not surprise you. If you study history of markets, this should not surprise you. If we're going to get rate cuts, if we're going to see, the US debt continue to balloon higher and geopolitical stuff continue to go on, I wouldn't be shocked at all if people start to continue to push into gold as a safe haven store of wealth. Would you guys be surprised? I mean, I would not be surprised if we saw metals market, expansion. Now, what is shocking to me is that silver is not participating. And this is the conditionary that I've put on when I've talked about this in the past. If you do see a metals market run, one serious thing to consider is that in almost all historically really big bull market cycles for silver and gold, or for gold, usually silver actually outperforms during that window. And we need to see silver participate. I think if we can see silver break into the 27s, 26, 27 range, that's a really good sign for the metals market, both gold and silver. So very, very, very careful with this, because again, here's gold, here's gold breaking all-time highs, and silver is struggling here. So I would really like to see participation from silver here today, or in the next months, to really see if this trend is going to continue. If that breakdown was helpful, type yes. Yep. You know what? Let me not miss it, Tim. I got data coming out in 40 seconds. So let me focus up here, guys. Final GDP numbers come out in 30 seconds or so. I'm going to switch over to all markets so we can take a look. We're going to go ahead and really quick do our breaking news here. All right, we're coming in on the numbers here this morning. Final GDP numbers. Unlikely to do a huge amount of movement, but if there's a surprise, certainly could. So let's see what we have. Okay. Final GDP numbers should be coming in here. By the way, claims came out just about as expected. Final GDP was hotter than expected, 3.4 compared to 3.2. First glance, not great for gold, right? Not great for gold, not kind of good for stocks, I would say. If you want to keep earnings estimates high, GDP numbers being higher than expected, I would imagine would be pretty good for stocks. So we see NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow up. Gold just barely off of this. And the reason here for not a big reaction to this number is that GDP comes out in three waves. It comes out in the advanced, preliminary, and final. The one that is most interesting to markets is going to be the advanced one, because it's the earliest look at what estimates for GDP growth or decline are. Final, that being said, is usually kind of the least impactful. Usually, it just depends. If you get a big surprise on any of these three, it of course will move the markets. But for the most part, this one is like the most interesting to the markets. Final still is interesting, but it's not great, game changing like perhaps advanced could be. Oh, I just knocked my coffee. Thankfully, it wasn't a big spill. Okay, so by the way, quick update on the PC. I did check the Amazon order today, and it is shipping on its way, but it says that it's going to get here by 10 p.m. tonight. So I don't know if we'll have it. It could come by like 2 p.m. this afternoon, in which case that would be great because then I could set it up before tomorrow's streams. But I think at the latest we should have the setup ready to go by Monday. Anyways, I wanted to call attention to oil. Look at oil, guys. Let's switch over to our singular market view. Okay, so indices just flat on the day, haven't done anything. Gold still up. Let me take off my drawing here. We'll go daily chart again. Again, I've gone over gold. I do need to trail a stop, so I'm going to do that in just a moment. Real quick, another position I need to check on is oil. I went long oil. This has turned out to be a really nice trade, and I'm loving this here today that we're up another 1.2% on this. Let's check the positions. So gold is up about $9,200, and oil is up $4,000 here this morning. This is a good move here. Commodities really making waves in my account right now. Full story on oil. You guys, I understand too that some of you guys who watch me every day, you got to know, just like I know, that I tend to have to repeat myself when I do these things. But I also want to say that repeating myself may be useful for you guys too, but I know it's useful for me. Like when I go through my trades over and over and over, it builds this sort of pattern, right? This consistency. I have been talking about these two trades now for like a month. And I understand that if you watch me on a regular basis, you might be feeling like, Nick, can you move on? But I really want to double down on how important this stuff is, that you understand that it's not about the number of charts, the number of trades. A friend of mine, he's kind of moved out of the picture in terms of social media, so I won't name his name. He's kind of backed off social media. I saw that he had something on his story. And this was a guy that I used to have on the streams and things like that. And he was, for a long time, he was like a day trader, like in and out of the market, pretty good amount of time. And so I saw his story, and he was in one trade for 35 days. It was long on the Dow. First of all, I said, screw you, because that's the trade I wanted. You took my trade. No, I didn't say that. But I did say, I was like, you know what? This is awesome. Good for him, because he's realized something that I have too. He trail stops similar to my style. He's realized like it's not about quantity. It is so not about quantity in trading. That is such a lie that we tell ourselves, guys. I'm telling you right now, the best case scenario for you as a trader is you're in good trades and they are just running, and you just practice discipline and patience. Somebody commented on one of my videos and said, I just wish I had your patience to hold oil through a drawdown, right? Because I bought here, it went up, good bit, and then it came all the way back to break even for me. And then it ran. And so like I saw a comment on my videos like just yesterday, like last night or something, and they were like, I wish I had your patience. And I do have pretty good patience in the market. I'll say that. But I'm not some like guru genius at picking the market. This is the difference that I think is so important to clarify. Over time, I've sharpened the axe of like patience and discipline in the markets, because I've made so many stupid mistakes in my early days and even in my middle trading days. I've made dumb mistakes. I've learned a lot of lessons. The one thing I know I can control is like I can work on my patience. I can work on sticking to a strategy. I can work on, all that sort of good stuff. But I'm not some genius market picker. So right now I have good trades on and it looks like this, but I have plenty of times where my trades look so ridiculously dumb. And I get a bunch of comments that are like, why would you take that trade? And I'm like, I don't know. I wish I didn't. But at the end of the day, what you can control is you can control your risk. You can control your discipline. And that is how you land good trades like this. Again, it is not my everyday scenario. Somebody said, doesn't beat your S&P trade. Yeah, we don't talk about that because I don't know if I will ever have a trade for at least some time that matches the great S&P run that I caught in November. To be honest, though, if I was so genius, right, and this is why I'm not claiming that I am, if I was so genius at picking markets, why didn't I stay into the S&P 500? I let go of it too soon. Do you know that my S&P trade, and this is probably going to haunt me, I bought the low, or pretty close, on a breakout in the lower time frames, let this one run, and I trailed out over here. Look at this. That trade kept going significantly. I think I made 40,000 on that trade. It probably would have gone to this point to be a $100,000 trade. But hindsight doesn't do us any good, right? Obviously, I wish I had held it, but that stuff is just such a dangerous way of thinking, and it does you no good to think in, the past like that. That being said, we've got other trades working. We're staying, consistent or staying disciplined. And I mentioned that I need to trail a stop. So I'm going to do that really quick. While I get that started, let's see. Do we have, Chandler, can you let me know if we have Chris coming on at 10 or if we are not? I'm just curious. I want to figure out my timeline here today. FOMO's my demon, one I fight every day. Yeah, I mean, dude, FOMO is so real. It is so real. I was agonized by the NASDAQ running on without me. It was so painful. Don't worry about it, Chandler. Thank you for that. No worries at all. I just want to get my timeline right. So in that case, let's go ahead and do this. While I go ahead and trail my stop loss here, we're going to run a quick break to thank our sponsors. And if stick around right after, you'll see I should be trailed with my stop loss. So we're going to run an 8-cap ad really quick just to thank our sponsors, and we'll be right back after this.
Attention A1 Trading Show fans, if you're interested in getting free access to the Edge Finder or our premium trade alerts, listen up. For a limited time, our show's partnered broker Eightcap is giving out free access to our products when you sign up for a new trading account with them. If you already have a broker, you may want to consider switching to Eightcap because of their low trading costs, a wide range of trading assets, and their amazing customer support. If you'd like to get access to our software and Discord server for free, click the link being dropped in the chat right now and ask one of our team members for more information. Don't miss your chance for free products and an award-winning broker. Now back to the A1 Trading Show.
All right, guys, I'm trailing my stop loss here. Just needed this is usually kind of a boring part of the stream, so I apologize, but I do need to trail this stop loss. I'm putting it just below this market structure. If price pulls back, I'd like to see a snappy pullback reaction, but if we don't, then I'll take profits and I'll look for perhaps another pullback entry. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and trail my stop loss on this gold move. To do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a similar positional shift on GLD. So let's go to the 4-hour chart. I'm going to go ahead and just move this stop loss. Although I need to check something. So from current price, about a 1.26% move down. Okay, so 1.26, we're going to move it to 201.91. There we go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and good till canceled, trail this stop loss. And then I'm going to go ahead and just update the position within our Discord really quick. We'll go to the daily chart. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm trailing my stop loss here. So 21.81. Okay, 55. And on, so entry is obviously the same, but I also need to trail my stop loss on GLD because I trade ETFs or futures in the US. I can't trade CFDs like people outside of the US. So I just have to trade and share both symbols that I'm trading. So my entry is, let's see, 201.91. Sorry, my stop loss, 201.91. Okay, and let's go ahead and do this. By the way, if you're wondering why my entry price has changed since I initially sent the trade on GLD, it's because I added to my existing position more shares on XAU USD, right? So remember on my daily chart, I added to my trade a second buy over here, which the way Webull computes this, and I don't love this about Webull's integration with TradingView, it only shows you your average price. So although I initially entered over here, right, when I added the second trade, my average price jumped up to this point, which is a little annoying because I wish I could see my trade 1, trade 2 there, but it is what it is, and I'm just glad to be able to trade directly on TradingView. So I should not even complain because the amount, just being in the software business world, I know how difficult that sort of coding could probably get. Okay, so I'm also, last thing I'm going to do really quick is I'm just going to take a picture and then we will share that in the Discord. By the way, if you guys would like to join our Discord channel where we share these trades throughout the week, if that is something that would be beneficial to you, we're going to drop the free Discord link here in the chat right now. If you'd like to join that, again, it is free to join, but you won't be able to see the trade alerts in the free room. In the free room, you just get analysis and things like that. But you can pay if you're interested in doing so for our premium service where you can get our trade alerts. And again, it is not a copy and paste service. It's not what we're about. But these are real trading results, real accounts, no nonsense, no BS, just real stuff. So if you'd like to trade alongside us, that is a service that we offer. And yes, there is a cost. You get what you pay for in this industry, just like anything else. All right, while I finish this up, guys, we're going to take a quick break, thank our sponsor, and then we're going to be joined by, I think, Miko and Marco, but at least Marco, I can see him in the background. He's coming in just after this quick break. Thank our sponsors, and coming back after this. Maybe not. Well, hold on just one second, guys. I think editor might be getting coffee or something. Let me just finish typing this up, and then we will go. Okay, stop loss trailed into profit. Oh, really? Oh no, he's trying, guys. There's something going on with the streaming software. We often get asked by our US viewers, how do you guys trade gold and indices on a regulated broker? To trade gold, indices, and more, we trade using Webull. And for US citizens watching now, for a limited time, you can get free stocks if you use our promo link that can be found in the description or dropped in the live. Sorry about that, guys. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties behind the scenes. For some reason, our ads are overlaying. But with that said, apologies for the delay, guys. How's it going? Welcome back to the show, Miko, Marco. How you doing?
Hello.
What is up? Hello.
Hey, so stuff is moving. I opened up my stream this morning and I just was mentioning that it seems like this year momentum is kind of winning. Like momentum stuff. Well, at least I got to say this. I don't know about currencies as much, but like gold and indices, which I'm not a part of, but I wish I was. Bitcoin. You have a lot of stuff that seems to be moving with a tremendous amount of momentum. And I know that I want to go to Marco on this first because Marco, I know you kind of use two strategies similar to myself. You've got more of a mean reversion based strategy, and you've got one that's more focused on momentum. I'm just curious, are you finding the same in your timeframes and specific things that you watch, or not so much? Are you finding momentum working right now or not as much?
Yeah, so for me, last week was really active, extremely active. I have seen a lot of trends on the 1 hour chart. Let me just show you an example. So EU had a large push, EU had a large push up and then down. AU was a very similar story, large push up, then down. EJ took a nice buy setup, took some profits as well in this uptrend right here. But now, beginning of this week, it has been mostly stagnant on this 1 hour chart. I was looking for a range bound entry here on the Aussie US dollar by identifying this really flat range. I wanted to see price clearly reject this area. Unfortunately, the break into the area was just a little bit too big for me. But if it was a bit smaller, I definitely would have taken like a rejection here and then to go to the upside. So I'm seeing possibly start of some movement. Again, all of the pairs are showing a nice bearish impulse down. Some are better than the other ones, but if it retraces right now, then it's most likely going to continue to range for the rest of the week. So yeah, I would say we are kind of range bound.
Yeah, fair enough. While you've got the screen, is there anything else on your watch list that stands out to you? Any other charts there that you're watching?
So I am in a trade on the euro and US dollar. So from here, aiming for a 2-to-1, something like this. What I was seeing is basically this sort of a pattern with a nice descending channel and then a impulse to the downside and then clear bullish pressure. These patterns usually fail. They usually don't continue down. What they usually do is they reverse to the upside. So that's why I took a market buy on the close of this candle. For the other pairs, well, on EJ, I'm being a bit more patient. AU, possibly looking for a sell setup, but now it's starting to show some major buying pressure. So I think I'm going to leave it alone. AJ, looking a bit too corrective. Pound, definitely very flat. And then we have the final one for me, which is going to be the New Zealand and the Japanese yen. I was looking for a sell setup right now. It looks like it's not going to be happening. I did like this bearish leg down. So for me, the only one on the watch list right now is going to be the euro US dollar, possibly NJ. It can still create the bearish candle. It all depends on how this candle closes. If it does something like this, then it's game on. But as it stands right now, it's showing me a rejection of this lower area. So yeah, I'm sticking to the euro and the US dollar, to be honest.
Sure. Fair enough. Awesome. Same question to you, Miko. Anything looking stand out to you today in terms of whether it be currencies, commodities, anything that you're watching? And you've got the pound pulled up. Just curious while you're on it, do you see the pound kind of like I do and Marco does, like a little choppy, a little range bound, or are we starting to see some momentum pick up on the pound?
Yeah, I would agree. We did see some signs of momentum starting to come into the market last week. Of course, we had a lot of news, but we had a big push up, big push down. So it looked like things were starting to trend a little bit. But in the grand scheme of things, it is a little bit flat. It is quite flat. So it's a bit of both. Nice momentum last week, but in the grand scheme of things this year anyway, it's been quite choppy. I have been pretty bearish on the dollar pairs. I'm kind of looking to sell them. I'm actually in some shorts on Euro USD, so I'm going 1v1 with Marco at the moment right now. I've had some sells on Tuesday up there, which I'm holding. I'm looking to see potentially if I can get another short if it were to come a little bit higher, which is kind of where Marco's take profit is around this area here. So I'm looking to sell them. Pound USD, I was looking to sell, but Euro looked a little bit better, so I took that trade. Dollar, if it can sell off a little bit more, I'll look for some pullbacks for a retest of this support. I really like the level. Market's rejected a few times. If it can sell off a little bit more aggressively, then I'll look for some pullbacks. And as the USD as well, I do like this one. This one broke through some major support last week, so I actually am liking this to the downside as well. Again, it needs to see a pullback before I can sell it, but my main focus has been the dollar pairs, looking to short them. I'm anticipating more upside for the dollar, potentially back to that high up there. So that's kind of where I'm situated in the market right now.
Mika, what's so interesting about your kind of analysis on the dollar is as weird as it is, right? Just from a quick high-level fundamental view, all we heard from the Fed was basically rate cuts are still coming. They're not too worried about inflation. They're just as worried, if not more worried, about the economy and jobs struggling. So we heard from the Fed like, oh, we're going to cut rates, which even on a basic fundamentalist, for new people to fundamentals to people who like that's a pretty bearish thing for a currency usually, is rate cuts. That being said, why the heck does the dollar keep going up? Well, it's confusing at first, but then you understand the dollar index is based on its peers, right? It's looking at the euro, as you've just broken down for us. Like you've pulled up the euro, you pulled up, the pound. And when we look at those, they are weaker. Why are they weaker? It's because those central banks are talking about cutting rates even more aggressively. So it's kind of right now we're seeing some potential dollar strength, and you're seeing it form in the price action, and I'm seeing it as well in the fundamentals, is what we're kind of getting a picture of is the dollar is the best of the worst case scenarios for currencies right now. So it's kind of a weird one, but perhaps we do see some momentum pick up on the dollar. And I think if you switch over to your daily chart, I think you were just making this point, but looks like we could be headed to test that. Yeah, you've got it drawn right around that 104.5 level. Looks like we could be headed to test there. What would you be looking for? Or I guess in that case, you're trading it on its way up to that point. At that point, would you be looking for it to try and break out? Or would you take profits? How would you manage your dollar positions if the dollar does continue to push up to that level?
So yeah, I'll be looking to trail stops. I'm looking to trail stops this year. Normally, I would have my target up there. So when it gets there, I'll be taking profit. And of course, for euro dollar, if it was to get down here, I'll be taking profit. But I'm just going to look to see how far this trade can move. As long as DXY doesn't do anything drastic and we kind of stay within this uptrend over here, I'm just looking for buying opportunities and expecting it to get to the high we just talked about. So I'll be looking to see if I can add positions to my euro trade, potentially short Aussie dollar if it can continue down a little bit more and look for pullbacks. But if it does get there, if dollar does get there, then I'm kind of just folding my hands, see what price does next. I'm not necessarily bearish. I'm not necessarily still bullish. I'm kind of waiting for more price action, and then I'll form a bias at some later date. But yeah, I'm expecting price to get there.
I like it. Thanks for that breakdown. And I guess, Marco, I want to come back to you. So if the dollar is, making these moves, of course, that's going to impact your currency pairs as well. So we'll see how that plays out if there's continues to be some dollar strength. I also want to move on in terms of next category really quick. Do you have any thoughts on the recent move in metals? Like we see gold. I was talking about it for a long time. I think you were hanging out in the background too for a little bit, Marco, where you saw that. Like gold is making some serious moves right now. And of course, from just an audience perspective, there's probably no single chart more interesting to our audience than gold. Everybody loves it. Myself included. I am just as guilty as everyone else. So I got to ask you, what do you think about gold? Does it have some momentum here? Can it break through the highs? And is there such thing as too high for gold right now? I don't know.
Sure. So I just want to say it's funny that Nico's take profit is my stop loss on the euro and the US dollar.
Just goes to you guys are going up against. We'll have to check back next week, see who was right.
just goes to show how everyone has different trading ideas, but in the end, we're all profitable. So it doesn't really matter if we're kind of hedging positions during the week between us. So for gold, well, as I said on the last live stream, it just broke this major high, left a huge wake up, retraced. So just by judging the momentum, from what I know from my back testing of momentum, this is losing steam, especially since it did not kind of continue. It instead just continued to range around. So for me, I would not say that I'm seeing much upside for gold, just by gauging the momentum. Now, I'm not sure about the fundamentals. What I would be looking for is for this to happen again. I think I mentioned it in the last live stream as well. This was super clean, and this is exactly what I want to see when I'm looking for some strong momentum. These large legs, small pullbacks, no major selling pressure in the pullbacks, and price basically continuing. And if I switch to, let's say, the 4-hour chart, yeah, it just looks to me like it's going a bit stagnant. Again, it doesn't mean that it cannot continue, but if I was looking for buy setups, I would look for a nice breakout to the upside, showing me some nice large blue candles like these ones. So that would be my forecast.
Yeah, I liked it the way you broke that down, just because, again, it's been consolidating even on like the 4-hour and daily chart. We've been pretty choppy waiting, and you're definitely right about this level. Like, this level could, by the end of the day, be a long topped wick and yet again enter into consolidation. We don't know. I think I'm with you for sure. In order for this thing to really prove itself, it needs to clear the all-time highs, and what would be probably just objectively bullish would be is if it closed outside of the top of that all-time high. That would be kind of where I'm like, okay, yep, we're very strong here. That being said, I went ahead and trailed my stop loss further just because to your point, we've been seeing sellers step in on these higher levels. So if this does not continue its momentum here, I'm just going to go ahead and step out of the way of gold. I've had this trade on for some time. So that's kind of my take on it, but I appreciate you sharing yours as well. I think I'm kind of with you. Like, I'm not even trusting this move unless it actually breaks out. So we'll see.
And I have a question.
Miko, same question. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So do you ever, when you trail your stop, do you ever move it back to the initial position? Like, if you see price breaking the highs right now, will you move your stop a bit further down, or do you just leave it on where it is and always reduce the risk, never increase the risk?
Almost always I will keep my stop at current levels, unless there's something. There are some conditional times where, just as a fundamental trader, if I know there's like a big meeting or something, I know a lot of traders will just say, I'm getting out of the way of that. But for me as a fundamentalist, like, I actually have things that I'm looking for out of a meeting. And if I think the meeting might go a certain way based on numbers that I'm pouring through and stuff like that, in some rare cases, I might increase my risk in terms of a position, a distance from my stop loss, just so I don't get whipped out of some volatility. So that's rare scenario. For the most part, if I trail stop into profit further, it's staying there. And I guess we could pass that same question to Miko, because Miko's on the trailing stop team as well. And Miko, do you ever widen your stop?
Well, the plan is for my training stop loss management system is I'll be using my risk multiples. So as price continues in my direction, I will trade it 2R behind. So if I'm in 3R profit, it'll be 1R, so on and so forth. But yeah, I'm trying to keep it very systematic. I don't want to be, I don't want to kind of use my brain power, because sometimes that can be deceiving. So I want to keep it as systematic as possible. Maybe in some cases with news, I may use that discretion to say, okay, give it the room. But yeah, 99% of the time I'll be looking to trail that 2R behind.
Fair enough. Yeah, and I liked the word you used, systematic, because I think that this year especially, but in several years of past, like, I've worked more and more towards a systematic approach. But what's so difficult, and this is the biggest criticism for, you could say it about technicals, but really heavily you could criticize fundamentalists, because there's a lot of discretion. There's a lot of not systematic approaches. And I recognize that as a potential weakness of fundamentals. So for me, one way that I have just systematized, I guess, I don't know if that's a word, is simply with the way our algorithm like scores things. This is just at its core, it's just a way to systematize fundamentals, right? So fundamentals can be pretty subjective if you are like reading an article that's coming across. And that's one of the biggest criticisms that I could even make about fundamental analysis. But you're right about, you are using, you said risk multiples to trail stops. And that totally could be by a technical trader, could also be discretionary if you're not setting out strict rules. So I think it's cool that you actually do have like some systematic approach to trailing stops. Again, I think discretion can, as you mentioned, it can get you into some trouble. If I'm really in love with this gold trade, it's easy for me to be like, I just want to stay in this thing and ride it off of a cliff. Like I could make that mistake. So I think that's a good point. Mika, while you've on the subject of trailing stops and momentum, what are you thinking about gold? Is this something that you're watching, or has it just gone too far for you to touch?
Yeah, it's gone too far for me to touch. I did have some ideas of looking to long gold back when we had this first kind of up move on the retest of some of these highs, but we just haven't seen that pullback. It was a pretty aggressive pullback last week. I remember we were touching upon this last week. It's pretty aggressive move, but looks like price is trying to create some new highs. So yeah, I mean, the way I trade, I do look for semi-ish meaningful pullbacks, and especially when we're at these highs here, I don't really feel comfortable trading gold because we're at all-time highs. There's nothing to the left for me as well, so I'm not really too comfortable at these prices, and a lot of FX pairs are just in perfect areas where I want to trade them. So gold, not really, to be honest. I'm definitely very bullish for the market, equally with silver as well. So overall, looking for buying opportunities, but nothing that takes my interest right now.
Yeah, Miko, you mentioned silver for a second there. Silver, I was talking about it just before we started with you guys. Silver hasn't participated nearly as much as gold, which, first of all, in my opinion, is actually kind of a red flag, because if metals are going to move, we need silver to play ball too. Like silver, we talked about that last time, and I won't go into that full spiel again, but do you have any thoughts on silver? Like, would you play silver if it pulls back for you? Is there anything on silver that you'd be watching, or still not interested?
No, I am interested in silver. The location of silver, not really. It's come back into some major resistance on the higher time frames, and silver actually has just been ranging for a while actually. But I do think there is a lot of room to the upside. So it's either two things. We either break through this area, and then I'm looking for buys above it. There's some areas up here which I'll target, or we come back down to the lower end of the range, and again I'll look for buys back up. So I like silver because it's in areas I can see the structure I can trade with. Gold, it's a little bit in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, I'm actually more focused on silver if it can pull back or break out.
Yep, fair enough. Yeah, and I like that. I kind of agree. I think gold's become kind of a difficult one to get in without, worrying. Am I chasing this thing? Has it gone too far? I do think fundamentally gold can continue to drive higher. I mentioned earlier that I wouldn't be surprised if we just kept drifting higher, but from a properly risk position, adding a proper trade right now, I would find difficult, because I can't find a good, high probability entry with a reasonable risk to reward. So maybe if we pulled back to this level, but we'll just have to see how it goes. I guess one last topic that's been our theme every week, Marco, Bitcoin. What are you thinking? Are we back, baby? I mean, we're making moves up to the previous high, but I don't know. Is it going to last?
Well, yeah, it looks very interesting. Looks like it came back almost all the way up to the top. So, but it's a consolidation still until it breaks out with clear force to the upside or to the downside. I just cannot pick a direction. I mean, overall, yes, you can say major bullish pressure. Sorry, I'm going to put it on the 4-hour chart. It's going to be better. So yeah, you can say overall it's a bullish pressure, but I still think it's sort of consolidating up here. And I don't trust it still for it to continue up? What do you think, guys?
I don't know. I'm just passing it to Miko. Miko, what do you think about Bitcoin?
I think we can get back to all-time highs. What we do after that is beyond me. But I'm still looking at this as a pullback. It's been quite corrective. I like it when we have. I mean, this move here wasn't really showing much momentum, but this move here was very corrective. It's very kind of stagnant moves, not really showing much of bearish pressure there. So I do like this move here. It's picked up some nice momentum. So I do think for Bitcoin, I think there's a good chance we'll get back to highs around 74K. And yeah, it's kind of just what we do beyond that. I have no idea. Again, when we get to these heights, similar to gold, above all-time highs, not a lot of structure to reference to. So that's when I kind of just sit on the back seat and just watch to see what Bitcoin does. But I do think we can see another pop to the upside. But yeah, we could come straight back down for all I know.
I do think that in terms of like a momentum trade, what you guys mentioned there with the previous high, kind of the first sight getting back there, I think I'm with you. I think there's probably a pretty good shot you see a move back to retest that high around 74,000. What I'd be interested in from like if I was to have to place a trade on Bitcoin, as crazy as it might sound, is actually, you know, looking to buy it on a retest at that all-time high level. And as crazy as that sometimes sounds, like everybody is like, there's no way, you know, you want to buy all-time highs or anywhere near it. Note that this is a trade concept. This is not a investment, because if this happens and this is just one big fake out before the massive drop, this is where stop losses are your friend, right? You could basically say, well, it didn't work out, stop me out pretty quick. But if you're going to see a real follow through move, like the beauty of that is that if you're right, then you're getting like this move, right? Like you have this top and it breaks and just does not stop. Like even if maybe you got a pullback intra-candle, in this case, you got no pullback after that chart. The risk to reward on those kinds of moves can be really nice, especially with something like Bitcoin, which again has that huge momentum potential, pretty much unlike anything else. Nothing that I can think of can move so violently in one direction as Bitcoin, and that it beats gold, it beats pretty much anything else. The only thing I can think that it has been beat by performance-wise has been Nvidia, which has been crazy, but in the last couple of years at least. So that's been kind of a crazy chart, but I guess we'll see. I think maybe the next time, we've been doing this every week, so maybe by next week we'll be at those all-time highs. We'll have the same conversation, or maybe not. But I would kind of agree with you guys. I think we could retest them. So we'll have to see. Anyways, I do want to just say thank you to both of you guys for coming on the show here today. As we close out this session, I just want to say to everybody who's listening, do us a quick favor here on the show. Miko and Marco have volunteered to come onto the show. We're not paying them. They're just coming on here to add value to the community. And as a thank you, I would ask that you guys make sure to go show some support to their channels. You could go find them on YouTube. Both Miko and Marco have their own YouTube channels. We've dropped the links to those in the chat right now. Make sure to subscribe. Go find them on Telegram, wherever they do all their free content. Again, plenty of free value there, so take advantage. With that said, guys, thank you very much for coming on the show, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. See
See you
you.
next week. Goodbye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Cool. All right. I think I could be wrong, but today is Thursday. We've got a long stream to do because we've got some news, right? We have consumer sentiment. Question is for Chandler, I think that we are planning to do James's segment with the new stock portfolio picking, which will be fun. I think that's right. So I'm going to hang out for a little bit with you guys. Don't go anywhere. We're going to keep going here. I wanted to check back on the old commodities trades. Here's oil. We'll get that set up. Okay, cool. Thank you, Chandler. I'm pretty sure James went ahead and prepped his notes for that. So I wouldn't want to end the stream and then him be like, "Oh, I was going to do my show." We've been having fun with the streams. We've got, for those of you guys who are regular stream viewers, you may have remembered that in the past, we once did a 6-hour long show. And we rotated hosts. I was in here for a bit, and then James and Frank came on, and Chris Pulver. We just had everybody join in on the show. It was a lot of fun. We are running it back for April 10th. April 10th, we have a really big day. I'll show you guys that really quick. I'm excited for this. I love these events. So if I go next month really quick, April 10th, we have a monster day. Look at this. In the morning, we have CPI. Just a light start to your morning. Wake up, get blasted by CPI, right? And then you have 9:45. We've got Bank of Canada with their monetary policy report and rate statement at 9:45. That should be kind of interesting. The press conference could also be exciting there. And then we have the big one, the meeting minutes at 2 p.m. So we are going to stream all day long. And I'm really excited about that because those are a lot of fun, a lot of stress, but a lot of fun. Just because we have to, we coordinate like several guests because I don't think I could go. I mean, I guess I could go for that long, but I would be in pain because as much as I love streaming and hanging out with you guys, it is tiring. So during that day, we will have everybody pitching in. We'll have Chris Pulver on. We might have, we'll probably have Frank and James, and who knows, maybe you guys will even get to see Chandler, the mysterious editor of this channel, right? He's not actually mysterious. He shows up pretty frequently, but yeah, that's going to be a fun day. I'm excited for that. In terms of the rest of this week, though, we do also have our biggest one of the week here is going to be Friday. And Friday, we have kind of a banger as well, Core PCE and Jerome Powell speaking at 11:30. Both of those will be pretty market moving. Chandler says, I'm trying to be mysterious. We need Frank to go alone. He would be too much for you guys. You couldn't handle him. A solo Frank stream would just blow up the world. Let me know, guys, what charts would you like me to look at? I'm happy to open it up. We've gone over kind of my current positions. I want to talk quickly about the S&P 500 here. So we got the S&P pulled up. I mean, this one, there's just nothing for me to do. This is kind of just a inactive chart for me. We've pretty much been flat the last 5 days, traded back and forth. We dropped and then we popped, and then now we're sitting at the highs. I wouldn't mind being a buyer on the S&P if you get a pullback, but we have not quite seen that. And I've also mentioned that where I'm more interested, somebody said US 30. Let's look at the Dow. So the Dow is one that I'm a little bit more interested in. The issue is that my setup has kind of left me in the dust. So you can see I had this marked up for a possible retest buy. If we were going to see a pullback, I was interested in that 50% retracement. And then looking for that push off of it. Well, we got the push, but it wasn't at the level that I was looking for. So I missed this trade. Would have been nice, but it happens. So Dow keeps pushing. If this does kind of pull back, I'm still interested, right? So if we can get a little bit of sell-off in the indices, I might be watching that. Somebody said NASDAQ as well. Let's take a quick look at NAS. Here's NAS on the daily chart. We're holding, it's just so impressive how resilient the indices are right now. You can see even in a choppy stuff, like we're still holding key levels so tight. Are we going to see another drive higher? We totally could. I mean, the table is set right now for indices. Like everything looks so bullish. Now, that being said, it still doesn't mean I'm just going to chase and buy everything at these levels, right? I'd still like to see healthy corrective moves. I'd like to see the bears kind of come back into the picture a little bit, because what that does is it increases your risk to reward. If you are a bull and you're one of, if there's just a million bulls and there's no bears, then the risk to reward factor is usually not great. Like what I mean by that is if you're a bull when everybody's a bull, the upside could be kind of limited. Like the continued push is not going to be. Whereas if you are a bull, but there's bears too, if the bears get beat out, you have a lot more upside because the bears capitulate, they cover shorts, they turn into bulls. But if everybody already is a bull, that is where it makes me a little bit nervous. So anyways, the Russell also making really good push here. RTY, this is Russell 2000. This is small caps, and small caps are doing quite well. Of course, it's kind of to be expected with interest rate cuts coming in. So yeah. Frank must have a session alone, not with others. You have a great colleague. He's very talented. He certainly is. Great writer. Great on covering it when he comes on the stream. Very calm and collected, Frank. He's got a great skill at this stuff in terms of explaining it too. You're waiting for a 5% pullback on SPX. I'd like one, but I'm not insistent. I am bullish on these things overall. I mentioned being systematic in terms of setups right now, systematically, right? Neutral for S&P 500, but bullish on Dow. So if a pullback sets up for me, I'm interested. Nick, between you and Frank, who started trading first? Like technically, well, actually, no, Frank did. Frank started. He had shares of stocks before I ever entered any positions. So technically Frank. Anyways, so the US 30 is getting a bullish read. So this is the Dow Jones. Dow Jones getting a bullish reading. Bonds are bullish. I do have a position on the position I talked about yesterday, TLT. Let's check on that. So I sold puts on this one, which are looking great so far. I sold puts at a strike price of $93, collected premium on that, about $1,000 in premium. If this market rolls over, I will still collect that premium, but I might have to enter the position, which is not a terrible situation anyways. So that's why I love selling options. I have to have a little bit of a bigger account size for that, but it is something I'm working on. So I'm selling puts on this. Nick, what are your thoughts on cannabis stocks? I would not be the one to ask, but Frank would be. Frank is watching them really close, and I know he is even playing Tilray. And what is Tilray doing today? Tilray's up 0.5%. It was up 7% yesterday. Yeah, Frank is watching Tilray. I want to check some ETFs really quick. SMH, this is the semiconductor ETF. We're going to switch over to a 4-hour chart. Semiconductors, comm services. It's going to be Google and Facebook or Meta. XLK, tech, XLY, consumer discretionary. Regional banks actually doing pretty well. This would make sense because expectations for rate cuts are coming down. So regional banks, which are risky because they have a huge exposure to corporate real estate debt. XLP, consumer staples. XLV, this is healthcare. Healthcare is doing really well. Utilities, energy. Energy would make sense, right? Because oil prices are up. Industrials, financials. This is medical devices. These are some things that I would like to buy if they give me a discount at some point. Cybersecurity stocks. These are ones that I'd love to buy on like a 10-15% pullback if they happen. Areas of the market that I really like. But just because I like something doesn't mean I will just enter it outright. So like even though I like, gold longs or I like a certain sector or something like that, I still would like to get them at discounts. Let's see where oil is going. What I'd like to see for oil is, so we have technically, it's a higher low, but I'm not going to move my stop loss, to be honest. I'm going to let it do its thing. We had this push. We came all the way back to break even. If we get like a higher low on oil, I might go ahead and trail a stop, but we'll see. Tim, you asked about MJ stocks. The man himself is in the room. So let's bring him in for a second. Say hey to Frank. Hey, Frank.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Tim wants to know, is Tilray going to the moon?
Yes. No,
Not financial advice.
it's not. If you guys have watched, or if you guys have kept up with the streams over, I guess, the past year or so, you would know that I've been in cannabis stocks since 2018. So I've been through many highs and lows, mostly lows. Essentially, at this point, it's at the point where I'm like, I'm just gonna make it a long-term position instead of a trade anymore.
Yep.
So I'm holding on to it with the hopes of that it rebounds at some point. But recently, I took some trades. I bought True Leave a while ago.
What is that symbol?
It's TCNNF. It's
TCNNF?
Yeah.
Okay, I found it.
It's OTC, so you can't buy it on like Webull or anything, but
Gotcha.
I have a Schwab account that let me do it.
And here's
So
MJ, Frank. MJ's on the move too.
Honestly, the way it's been beaten down, in my opinion, was, I guess, over the past several months. To me, it seemed like it's either going to zero or it's going to stay at $1 per share or $2 per share. You might as well just put something into it. So I reinvested. I put more in True Leave. I put more in Curaleaf, and I'm just holding on to that. But recently on Webull, I took a bullish call vertical. So I'm below price, hoping to collect some premium if price stays above a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
So
Frank, let me ask you this really quick. Because I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, I don't even know, what is causing these stocks to go flying up? Like what about this industry has changed? Was there some big news? Because I don't even know. I feel uninformed.
I don't really keep up with it too much, other than that they've been talking about rescheduling. So there's something about Congress wanting to reschedule cannabis to take it out of Schedule 1 and put it into like a 3 or 4, which is, I guess, in my opinion, where it belongs, because, there's very dangerous substances in Schedule 1. It's obvious why they're illegal, but I guess cannabis at some point is working towards getting out of Schedule 1. And at that point, when it becomes legal, like federally, it's just a lot of good stuff can happen. So you can bank, like your earnings can go into an American bank and stuff like that. So it's a lot of benefits.
Very interesting.
But right now it's just hype. So
yeah,
we'll
have to see where it goes with that. Definitely like a high risk, high reward area of the market, to say the least. I mean, we'll see if that keeps going. Frank, are you still in your oil trade, your oil position?
No, I got closed out. I got trailed out.
Okay.
I'm still in.
Are you interested in re-entering it at all or anything?
Possibly. It hasn't really pulled back enough. Right now, it's not at a level I'd want to buy it. But if it breaks that 83 something dollar level, then I might look again. Or if it comes down. But right now, it's kind of in the middle of something. So I'm just holding GDX for now.
Fair enough. Well, so Frank, I think James is going to be doing his stock picking stream, which I think is going to be really fun. Also, Chandler, if you want to tell James, he can hop in anytime. He doesn't have to wait until after the news. I think this Well, I could come. He'll be streaming, so if anything happens with the consumer sentiment that's super noticeable, we can jump back in. But you could tell James he's welcome. Well, he's in the room. He can hear me. James, whenever you're ready, you can come take over the and do your stock show if that's what you wanted to do today. I'm excited for that. Frank, you saw some of. Yeah, I'm curious what your thoughts are on some of his stock options for the community today. And also, real quick, everybody who's watching, so we're going to do this in just a second. James is going to come in here. Well, actually, Frank, maybe you need to get out of there so James can take over. But we'll see you maybe on the next one. Thanks for popping in, and I'm sure we'll see you back later on.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
All right. See ya. Yeah. So what I was saying is we have this new segment that we're doing on the show. And the idea is once a week, you guys, the audience, are going to help James pick stocks for our stock portfolio. We've put $500 into a real portfolio that James is the ultimate manager on. And at the end of the day, he's got some options for you that are coming, which are going to be super fun. So he's going to allow you guys to vote on which ones we purchase. So really quick, if you would like to participate, if you'd like to help us vote on which stocks we are going to buy, here's all you got to do in order to help vote. We're going to drop the link to our Telegram channel. If you just join in the Telegram, we'll be dropping polls to vote in there so that we can have them on file. So if you would like to vote on the stocks we pick, oh man, it's going to be fun because we're going to pick some stocks here today. James has some good ones, some good options for you today. And I cannot wait to see what you guys vote on some of these. So real quick, James says 1 second. So we'll give him a second to set up. Whenever he's ready, I'll look for the thumbs up. But again, make sure to join the Telegram so you guys can vote and be a participant in this. Is anybody, I'm just curious, do you guys trade or invest in stocks at all? If you do, type yes in the chat. And if you don't, type no in the chat. Just let us know. I'm just curious. Of the people hanging out with us today, do you do any stock trading and or investing? My favorite stock, well, I don't really have a favorite. I don't really do a lot of individual stock picking. You guys know I trade indices constantly. But I'm not a huge stock picking person. I think my favorite stock over time has been Google. I'm a little bit biased here, but we're all using Google literally right now. We're all using YouTube, which is owned by Google, right? So Anton says he used covered call strategies. My people, what's up? That's me. It's me too. Covered calls, selling cash secured puts. Love to do it. Oh, hey, James. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up?
Not a lot. Hey, so are we ready to go or still need a second? Okay, cool. Okay, so we can roll our quick little intro here, a little bit of hype for you guys, and then James, you got the show. So enjoy it, man.
Sounds good. Don't go anywhere. Coming up next, we're talking more stocks and adding to the A1 Trading Community Portfolio Live. Remember, if you're looking to start your own stock portfolio for long-term investing, you can get free stock shares just for signing up with our partner broker, Webull. We'll drop the link in the chat now, or you can find it in the description down below. If you're not in the US or the UK, don't worry. You can still buy and sell stock CFDs with Eightcap, which is also linked below. Now, let's add to the portfolio. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. So if you missed what we did last week, Nick was kind of explaining it there. But we have this Webull account that we have started together, all of us. And we're going to be adding to it today. We're going to be adding 2 stocks today. Last week, we added Apple just to get it started. And then at the end of the stream, we voted between Microsoft, Super Micro Computer Inc., or NVIDIA, 3 tech stocks to add to the portfolio. And no surprise, NVIDIA won. But we need to make some better picks today because we're down on the account. Now, we're taking very small positions. These are just partial positions. I bought $10 worth of NVIDIA and $10 worth of Apple stock, which is why
We are not seeing a ton of movement, but today we're going to be adding 2 more, and we'll see how it goes. But to start off with, let's see. I'm looking at the chat. Any insight into pound yen? Unfortunately, I cannot give you insight on the pound yen, but we can talk about my first thing on the docket today is the return of the meme stocks. Now, we all remember what happened with GameStop and AMC and all that stuff, but there's been a little bit of a resurgence of these meme stocks with things like Reddit. Reddit is now on the stock market. We were talking about that last week on Thursday. That was actually the day that Reddit went public on the stock market. We tried to buy some Reddit. So taking a look at Reddit, it is a little bit higher than when it first, got put on the market last week. It kind of debuted, I guess, around $47 is what the first asking price was. And now we're looking at $53. So it spiked. It spiked all the way up at $74, but it's come down a lot since then. But we could still get in on the ground floor of Reddit if we so chose to do so. But we have some other stuff that we can take a look at too. Like, did you guys know about this? I just learned about this yesterday. DJT, Trump Media and Technology. Donald Trump, his media and technology company, which nobody knew that he had, is public on the stock market. It has been for a very long time, actually. And it's had a bit of a surge recently. Look at that massive jump in price. That huge gap right there. I wish we could have caught that move. But is this the start of the Trump rally? Not the political presidential rally, but is this the start of Trump media and technology rally? I don't know. That's up for you guys to decide. So this is option number 2 when it comes to our meme stocks. And then option number 3, I'm actually going to pull up this article here that I found yesterday when I was looking into this stuff and getting this stuff ready for today. So I'm going to share this with you guys. I think if I just drag this over here, you guys should be able to see this, right? Yep. Okay. So this is an article on The Street. It was written by Martin Barra-Cardex. And meme stocks are back as Trump media surges, GameStop crashes, and Reddit soars. Now, I wouldn't say Reddit is soaring. Oh yeah, we can look at it on TradingView as well. So RDDT. I wouldn't say Reddit is soaring. It did. Well, it did. You know what? It did. I'll give you credit. It did. DJT. Trump media is kind of soaring for some reason. And is it GME? No. Yes, it is. GME, GameStop. GameStop tanking. Big jump, tank. From the all-time highs, a lot lower. But is this the return of the meme stock? Let's find out what Martin had to say. So retail investors who took Wall Street by storm 3 years ago with a surge of investments in a few key stocks powered in part by a Reddit social media network collective are looking primed for a comeback as the stock market tests new record highs. Do you think that the stock market rally that we're seeing right now, with the SP500, the NASDAQ, all that stuff, trading at all-time highs, this must influence the price of other stocks too? When the market overall is just doing so well, I would imagine that even stocks like Reddit and Trump media perform better just as a passive effect of this, right? Walmart and Meta, year-to-date performance check, DJT. Yeah, can you guys believe it? I mean, can you believe this? It was apparently first listed as his hotel and casino company. You could buy shares in his hotel and casino company before that went bankrupt, I think, is what happened. Like, here, 2018, when you're flat out at like 0 almost. But he's back with media. Let's see. The so-called meme stock craze began with a massive surge in the money-losing video game retail GameStop in early 2021, led to a host of outsized moves, and a handful of favored names triggered the near collapse of several hedge funds and launched a congressional inquiry into the fairness of certain Wall Street practices. I remember they tried to do it with AMC after GameStop. They said, we can do this again. AMC is next. Me being a big movie fan, I got in on AMC and it did not do anything. All right, so let's learn a little bit about Reddit. We're going to read about Reddit, GameStop, and Trump media really quickly, and then we're going to vote on which one we're going to add to the portfolio. And then we're going to get into some more, a little bit more serious stuff. This is not the only thing that we're going to add to the portfolio today. I just thought that it was kind of funny to add a meme stock to our portfolio, because why not? We're having fun. The listing valued the group at $6.4 billion. It included hefty participation from its longtime users, who were allocated around 8% of Reddit's pre-IPO shares, with other retail investors offering stock through brokerage such as Robinhood Markets. Reddit, like many other companies in the social media space, is looking to harness the power of AI to boost profits and sales, but noted that the Federal Trade Commission is looking into some of its licensing deals. Now, I remember, let's see, Apple leading, higher rank better, you need only performing stocks. Well, we're going to add some performing stocks too. This is not the only thing that we're going to add. We're going to add some performing stocks. And in fact, I'll go ahead and give you a sneak peek at what we're going to look at. I'm trying to, what's the right word? Group. Whenever we vote on something, it's going to be like a branch or a sector of the markets. So I'm not going to, I mean, I might, but I'm not going to put like, McDonald's next to Microsoft and Delta. I don't know. I could do that, but I think it's more fun if we kind of look at one category of stuff and choose our favorite from there. At least for right now. So we're going to be looking at retail. We're going to be looking at retail. These are massive, massive, world-renowned stores. I think at least two of them I know are. No, I think they all are. We're going to be taking a look at Nike. We're going to be taking a look at TJ Maxx. We're going to be taking a look at Lululemon. And we're going to be taking a look at Abercrombie. I always have a hard time saying that. Abercrombie and Fitch. And I'll just show you really quickly what those look like, so you can see that we are looking at some interesting stuff. So Nike, first of all, Nike's trading at about $94 right now, and it's in a little bit of a downtrend, but we can see we're not too far away from all-time highs. 2021 all-time highs. I mean, we got a lot to get back up there, but we've seen this higher. It's Nike. Nike's not going anywhere. And, right, if we were going to do a little bit of actual like technical analysis here, we're closing in on like a large, if I'm going to just do a really broad technical analysis, I would say that like this range here roughly looks like a big level of support, right? And we're right on it. So we may bounce around this level of support for a little bit, but once the uptrend starts, if we can break through these highs there, then all that's next is all-time highs, right? So that's Nike. Take a look at TJ Maxx. TJX companies. Look at that. 101 market price right now. But look at this company go. I mean, it's basically just straight up all time, right? So this actually seems to me, now we are trading close or at all-time highs, which could be a dangerous place to get in. However, it also just kind of seems like a relatively safe stock to buy. TJ Maxx companies, that probably includes, I believe it includes Ross, Marshall's, Home Goods, and TJ Maxx. Those are 4 incredibly popular stores. They're not going anywhere. Lululemon, Athletica. Now, this is why I thought Lululemon was interesting. First of all, their market price is very expensive, $390 a share. But just recently, their price tanked, dropped way down here. Dropped, let's see, 478 down to 416. So about, it was $60, $62 price drop, just kind of out of nowhere, and then continue to drop even more after that. Our extension zones indicator here on the EDGEFINDER, this little green zone here with these green bubbles, is telling us that price is way too oversold, due for a reversal, which is kind of what we're seeing here with these 2 green candles. So this might be a nice time to get in Lululemon at a slightly discounted price. And finally, Abercrombie. I know I've completely derailed our meme stock segment, but I wanted to let you guys know that we are going to be taking a look at some real stuff too. Nick put me on to Abercrombie because look at this uptrend. I don't know what happened in 2023. I don't know what happened in 2023 to make Abercrombie stock shoot up like this. They were the company that used to have like the shirtless dudes that would just like stand around and like point you towards the Abercrombie door. So maybe they brought those guys back and the markets got excited. What's that movie? Neighbors with Seth Rogen and Zac Efron. Zac Efron does that and it's funny. Anyway, all right, so there we go. So that was a sneak peek. We'll talk more about Nike, TJ Maxx, Lululemon, and Abercrombie in a minute. But we need to vote on our meme stocks. Tim, did you think that was funny? Olympic basketball coming up in Paris with Nike being main basketball sponsor for US. Yes, that is very true. That is very true. Nike is probably going to have a lot to do with those Olympics. But let's finish reading this really quickly. So we read a little bit about Reddit because we still need to vote. Reddit, GameStop, or Donald Trump media. So GameStop, really quickly, a little quote from the legend, Jim Cramer over here. He said, quote, "I can't find a way to value it." Jim Cramer said on CNBC Wednesday, quote, like him or hate him, know that this stock is overvalued. He added on his verified social media account on X. However, the lessons from GameStop, patient zero in the meme stock movement can't be ignored. Retail buyers lifted the value of the Grapevine, Texas-based group to more than $22.1 billion in early 2021, when it was generating just $1.2 billion in revenues and experiencing a 2-year run without a quarterly profit. GameStop shares opened with a market capitalization of just $4 billion this morning after posting a smaller than expected holiday quarter profit of 22 cents per share on revenues that fell nearly 20% from a year ago to $1.79 billion. There's also been little evidence that GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen, perhaps the biggest and most influential investor in the meme stock craze, has improved the group's prospects. So that's a little bit about GameStop. And do they have some stuff on here about the Trump, the Donald man? I guess they didn't, but that's okay. So we read a little bit about Reddit. All right, quick refresher. Reddit just debuted on the stock market last week. When it was very, very first put on the market, it debuted at, debut right here or right here? I guess right here. At $46 a share, $47 a share. At its peak, jumped up to $74 a share. And it's currently trading at $52. So we could get in, again, on the ground floor of Reddit. We've seen that it has potential to move higher. It's not like it hit the market and then immediately tanked. It has potential to move higher. DJT, Donald Trump Media's, out of nowhere earlier this year, skyrocketed and peaked at $79, currently trading at $62. So do we want to get in with Trump or Old Faithful, the GameStop Corporation? Is it worth buying into GameStop? Will we have a second rally? Probably not, but I'll leave it up to you. So the meme stock poll is up. Thank you so much, Chandler, for doing that. Where is my Telegram? There it is. Let's see. What am I going to vote for? Because I have to vote too in order to see the results. Whoops. 47 votes in right now. Go vote in the Telegram, guys. You can. We have 215 people watching right now. If you want to vote on if we're buying Trump Media, Reddit, or GameStop, adding that to the portfolio, go do that. Poll is live. 47 votes in right now. I'm going to wait just a second before I cast my vote. Because I don't want to give away the results quite yet. But go vote. It's live. Can I refresh? No, I think it does it live. I'm going to wait just another minute in case anybody wants to get more votes in. All right, there we go. So we jumped up to 60 votes. I'm going to go ahead and close this poll. My official vote is going to be, I think I'm going with Reddit. I'm going with Reddit. Wow, are you serious? I was not expecting that. I was expecting Reddit as well. But the audience has spoken, and we are buying shares in Trump Media. Oh, boy. All right. Trump Media and Technology Group. Let me do this in the actual Webull. Here we go. Oh, look at that. I've already got it pulled up. All right. So we are going to purchase some Trump Media today. Just $10. Market order, $10. And I think we are good to go. Quantity should be larger than 0. See, that's the only problem. Some of these, you can't order partial shares. Why is it that some you can order partial shares and some you can't? DJT. Is this the same thing? Is this also a Trump stock? It seems like it is. Kind of did the exact same thing. It's cheaper. EJT. For those who did sell USD JPY, target revised to 727 on trading. Okay. I think that is the same thing. Market order, buy, amount, $10. Buy. Should be more than one. Might have to come back to this. Might have to keep a mental note of this and see if we can figure out if we can get a partial share. See, okay, so I'm just curious. Let me just see. Because I think we tried to do this the last time as well. Okay, so it is going to let us buy Reddit. I don't know, guys. I want to stay true to the format, but it's not letting me buy just $10. What if I bump it up to like 20? That's probably not going to do anything, but we'll try it. I just didn't want to buy all $67 worth because we only have $500 to do this with. So that's why I didn't want to spend a huge chunk of it buying one whole share of Trump Media for $70. Are people going to be upset if we buy Reddit instead so we can add something to the portfolio? Probably not. What percent of the votes did Reddit get? Let's see. Oh, now it got a lot closer. There was a large amount of people that wanted Reddit as well. Let the Force A1 trading chat be your guide. Well, that's what I'm trying to do. In the A1 trading chat said that they wanted Trump Media, and I want to be able to do that for you guys, but I don't think I can buy partial shares of it, unfortunately. But I can do Reddit. So we're not done with Donald Trump. Nowhere close. He's not going anywhere. Neither are we. We'll be back for some Trump stock at some point. But today, we might just have to go with Reddit because it's actually going to let me buy it. So we're buying $10 worth of Reddit. Buy. And there we go. We are officially, you, me, all of us, congratulations. We are now officially owners of Reddit. Look at that. We're losing money already. Why'd you let me do this? I'm just kidding. Here's our NVIDIA position, by the way. This is what we bought last week. Just $10 worth, which is why these numbers are so small. Apple, same thing. Ooh, Apple. What happened? When did we enter on this? I mean, it was last Thursday, but how is this possible? Oh, this is what? One day. There we go. Where's last Thursday? Oh, hold on. Sorry. I did something for a video. Is that what I want to put back on? Or that? Maybe not. Oh, well. I was trying to see what day I actually entered on. I guess it was on this. Wow, what happened that day? All right. On Apple to simulate. Seeking alpha stock screener. Software nowadays get used. I'd probably go 50-50 with, to be honest, Reddit than it is on Apple to simulate all things. Microsoft diversification. Yeah. Right. Okay. Moving on. All right. So now let's get into our real stocks. So just a reminder, we're taking a look at, and I have a couple articles here that we'll briefly go through. on the road to making our overall decision. So we have Nike. Nike is option 1. Remember, Nike's all-time highs in 2021, trading around $179 a share, roughly. Have come down a bit since then. However, there was a pretty significant downtrend that happened in 2022. However, I would not say that we are still in a downtrend. I would say it's more range than that, because we saw this new high form here. It dipped down a little bit, right? It's kind of been testing in this big area of support that I marked up here. It hasn't gotten quite back up to 130 market price. We hit 123, but I fully expect it to kind of bounce between this range before breaking out one way or another, hopefully to the long side. Unless, I guess one of these days we need to decide on a stock to sell instead of buy. Maybe, potentially. We'll see. But Nike option number 1. Oh, not JT Maxx. TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx companies. Just nothing but upside potential for TJ Maxx companies. Lululemon. Now, I will remind you that Lululemon is a very expensive, in my opinion, stock at $392. So if we were to buy Lululemon, and I don't mean to influence your decision in any way, I'm just stating the facts. If we were to buy something like Lululemon compared to something like Nike, which has a cheaper stock price, our $10 would be more volatile, more valuable in this sense, buying a cheaper stock compared to a more expensive stock. But it's not up to me. It's up to you guys, and I don't mean to influence your decisions. So here's Lulu. Big all-time highs trading at 516, but had a big drop in price. Little flash sale for you out of nowhere. And Abercrombie. Abercrombie and Fitch, which has just been, as of recently, just all-time highs at 140, currently trading at 122. All right. So let's talk a little bit about Nike. Here's an article that I found on Yahoo Finance. Get in there. Nike Inc. is a trending stock. Facts to know before betting on it. Quick little read from Zacks Equity Research. Thank you very much, sir. Nike has recently been on Zacks.com list of the most searched stocks. Therefore, you might want to consider some of the key factors that could influence the stock's performance in the near future. Over the past month, shares of the athletic apparel maker have returned minus 11.1% compared to the Zacks S&P 500 composite plus 3.1% change. During this period, the Zacks shoes and retail apparel industry, which Nike falls in, has lost 9.4%. The key question right now is what could be the stock's future direction? So the story continues. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. So let's look at our 12-month EPS projected revenue growth. While earnings growth is arguably the most superior indicator of a company's financial health, nothing happens as such if a business isn't able to grow its revenues. After all, it's nearly impossible for a company to increase its earnings for an extended period without increasing its revenues. So it's important to know a company's potential revenue growth. In the case of Nike, the consensus sales estimate of $13.11 billion for the current quarter points to a year-over-year change of plus 2.2%. The 51.71 billion and 54.64 billion estimates for the current and next fiscal year indicates a change of plus 1% and plus 5.7% respectively. So, in conclusion, the facts discussed here and much other information, that doesn't sound right, but facts discussed here and much other information on Zacks.com might help determine whether or not it's worthwhile paying attention to the market buzz about Nike. However, its Zacks rank number 3 does suggest that it may perform in line with the broader market in the near term. So, projected revenue growth is positive. Nike trending right now. Major company. Like who said it in here? Someone said hell to the gnaw, said Olympics coming in Paris, with Nike being a main support basketball sponsor for the US. And I would imagine that they're also sponsoring a lot of other stuff. The Olympics could be huge for Nike. I mean, the entire world watching their favorite countries do all sorts of stuff in their Nike gear. That's a valid argument. Joseph Rainey says home sale news. Let me take a look at home sale news. Here we go. Pending home sales month over month was positive 1.6%. Revised University of Michigan consumer sentiment also positive 79.4. That do anything to the dollar? No. No. No movement. Moving on. Let's see. Next up. Oh, I have another. Oh, right. I wanted to show this off as well when talking about Nike. So if you just go to the Google News and type in Nike, you're going to find all kinds of different stuff. But I thought it was interesting too that there was a lot of news about new shoes getting released. Nike Air Max. New Nike Air Max. I saw a Oregon collab shoe, the LeBron Monopoly shoes, and then this as well. Nike wants to make Air Force One sneakers harder to find. So we've got new shoe releases. They're trying to take Air Force Ones away. I don't know why. We got the Olympics, trending stock. Nike has a lot of potential, but that's just one. Next, we have TJ Maxx. Now, I couldn't find any articles about the stock price of TJ Maxx, and understandably so. However, real quickly, one more time, I'm just going to show off the chart. Look at this crazy jump that TJ Maxx had just out of nowhere, just like a random. I guess it wasn't really that big, but still, anytime you see a big gap like that. So quick reminder, TJ Maxx, all time, this thing just looks, it looks almost like the S&P, right? It just goes up. I'm just kidding. The S&P doesn't look like that. Flat in the early 2000s, but then by the mid 2010s, it just kind of started going higher and higher and higher, and just can't stop, won't stop. So TJ Maxx is an option because why not? It seems like a relatively safe bet. Lululemon on a flash discount. Let's take a look at the long term of Lulu. So Lulu kind of similar, kind of flat until honestly relatively recently. It didn't really start picking up a lot of momentum until like 2018. So 2018, this thing starts flying high. Not too far off from all-time highs at $500 something, but like I've said a couple times, a bit of a flash discount going on here because prices dropped. And I do have an article about Lulu. So let's take a look at this real quick. Why we think the sell-off provides an opportunity. Talking about Lululemon. This comes from Bella Lacoste. Thank you very much. This is kind of what I was saying, right? The sell-off, what I'm calling our flash discount on Lulu. Is there opportunity here to go long? Lululemon is a global retailer known for its premium athletic apparel and accessories, with over 700 stores and annual revenues exceeding $9.5 billion. The company experienced notable growth in sales, particularly internationally, and beat expectations in its recent earning reports. That's good to know. Despite lower growth expectations for the coming year, Lululemon remains attractive from a fundamental standpoint, and the recent stock price decline may present a buying opportunity. So sales really quickly. In the fourth quarter of 2023 compared to the same period in 2022, Lululemon experienced notable growth across key metrics. Net revenue surged by 16% to reach $3.2 billion, with America's net revenue rising by 9%. International net revenue saw a remarkable 54% increase, or 56% when adjusted for currency fluctuations. Comparable sales also showed strong growth, increasing by 12% overall, while with America's comparable sales up by 7% and international comparable sales soaring by 43 or 44% on a consistent dollar basis. So what this means to me is we had a bit of a recent sell-off. Right, so we're already getting it at a slightly discounted price. And Lululemon is just continuing to grow, especially internationally. Now, their projected growth for this year is not as exponential as it was from 2022 to 2023. However, I think that this international thing is really something interesting. International net revenue saw a remarkable 54% increase, or 56% when adjusted for currency fluctuations. What this means to me is over the next several years, I would imagine Lululemon opens up a lot more stores in a lot more countries. So that's a quick little look into Lululemon. And lastly, I believe, do I have a article about this one? I do. Last but not least, Abercrombie, which again, Nick put me onto this one. Relatively quiet, unsuspecting stock for like its entirety of the market, little ups and downs here and there. But then last year to present day, this thing just soared. Let's see. When you should buy Abercrombie & Fitch. What does the future of Abercrombie & Fitch look like? Investors looking for growth in their portfolio, me, you, watching, may want to consider the prospects of a company before buying its shares. Yes, buying a great company with a robust outlook at a cheap price is always a good investment. So let's also take a look at the company's future expectations. Abercrombie & Fitch earnings over the next few years are expected to increase by 27%, indicating a highly optimistic future ahead. That is shocking to me. Abercrombie & Fitch is coming back. Who would have thought? So, are you a potential investor? That's what we are. If you've been keeping an eye on ANF for a while, now might be the time to enter the stock. Its buoyant future outlook isn't fully reflected in the current share price yet, which means it's not too late to buy ANF. But before you make any investment decisions, consider other factors such as track record of its management team in order to make a well-informed investment decision. So while earnings quality is important, it's equally important to consider the risks facing Abercrombie & Fitch at this point in time. Every company has risk, and we've spotted 2 warning signs for Abercrombie & Fitch that you should know about. What are they? Oh, is it here? Oh, look at that. Oh, interesting. So Abercrombie & Fitch valuation is ANF overvalued compared to its fair value below fair value price, significantly below fair value price. Well, that's okay. Price to earnings versus peers versus industry, fair ratio, analyst forecast. Current price, a fair value. Interesting. Okay. So Abercrombie & Fitch. Right. Those are our 4. We learned about all 4. One more time. We're about to vote. Nike, number 1. Are we going to buy $10 worth of Nike stock? TJ Maxx stock. I'm blanking. Lululemon stock or Abercrombie stock. The poll is up. Thank you very much, Chandler. Thank you. Thank you. The poll is up. I will pull it up as well. Let's see. Oh, wait. You didn't add TJ Maxx. Oh well. We'll do something else with TJ Maxx at some point. Nike, Lulu, or Abercrombie? Oh, he took the poll down. Okay, poll going back up in just a second. If you voted, apologize. It will be back up in just a second with Nike, TJ Maxx, Lululemon, and Abercrombie. Thank you guys for sticking around, by the way. We still have 160 of you watching. Shout out to you. There we go. New poll is up. Nike, Lululemon, Abercrombie, TJ Maxx. What are we buying $10 of? I tried to crack my back while I did that. That's why y'all ever do that? Put your back here and then just lean way back and just kind of snap your spine in half a little bit. What do you guys think about these streams, by the way? We got 160 people watching. We have no votes on our poll yet. We had some votes beforehand, unless this hasn't updated yet. Go vote in the poll, guys, if you're still watching. We can drop the link to that one more time, just so it's at the bottom there. Go join the Telegram. Go vote in the poll. By the way, if you want a free course, mention in. By the way, if you want the free course mentioned in this DM at Emily A1 Trading. Oh, I see. Okay. What do you guys think about these streams, by the way? Are you guys enjoying the stock streams? I'm enjoying the stock streams a lot. I enjoy hanging out with you guys, talking stocks, learning about new stuff, being a little silly, and then hopefully trying to make some money, guys. I'll show off the account really quickly again. We are down a little bit. We have our Reddit. Reddit is up. Shout out. Nvidia and Apple, though, not performing so hot. I thought Apple was up on the day. Am I wrong about that? Yes, I am. Whoops. All right, we have 35 votes. What am I going to vote for? I think I know what I'm voting for. Yeah, no, I know what I'm voting for. 35 votes. Anybody else want to get their votes in? Remember, your vote matters because we're adding it to the portfolio. Whichever one has the most votes. Zach's ranked Nike by 3 holes. Yep, sure did. 37 votes in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm voting for TJ Maxx. The winner is Nike by a long shot. People want the Nike stock. Okay. All right. Nike it is. Nike it is. Here we go. Please work. $10. Market order. $10 worth of Nike stock coming right up. And there we go, everybody. Congratulations. You are now the proud owner of $10 worth of Nike stock. So here we go. Here we are, guys. We are building a real portfolio here. We have got Nike. Got a little bit of Reddit. Got a little bit of Apple and a little bit of Nvidia. Very nice. Very nice. So next week, we will do the same thing. We will find a day that works best, and then we will do it again. And I'm sure that I'll update you on the A1 Trading YouTube channel as well with how the portfolio is doing. But there we go. We added 2 more stocks to the portfolio. I'm having a lot of fun doing this. Nike, Reddit, Nvidia, and Apple. Thank you to everybody that was watching. Thank you for everybody that was voting in the polls. And yeah, keep an eye out on the A1 Trading social medias and the A1 Trading YouTube because I'm sure we'll be updating the portfolio, and then also we'll find another day next week when we can do this again. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's been a long stream, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. And we will see you tomorrow for... I think we have some stuff going on tomorrow. Core PCE tomorrow. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Thanks for hanging out and talking stocks with me. And remember, if you're looking to start your own stock portfolio for long-term investing, you can get free stock shares just for signing up with our partner broker, Webull. We'll drop the link in the chat now, or you can find it in the description down below. If you're not in the US or UK, don't worry. You can still buy and sell stock CFDs with Eightcap, which is also linked below. We'll see you next time.